WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. Of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots. Monday. So I woke up Monday, snow on the ground, ice on the ground. Actually, this all happened like Thursday. We had just this incredibly bad pile up on I-35. And then Sunday night, the weather just caved. And we got, several inches of snow, and the temperature dropped like a lot. It doesn't normally get below 20 degrees, and I woke up in the morning, and golly, there were like zero degrees left. I ran out of degrees, and this was all the way across Texas. Every 254 counties in Texas experienced this garbage of weather that we just got. It's not, weather is weather in the wintertime. Yeah, it gets cold, and we usually have a day or two of ice every year. last couple of years haven't been too bad. Every so often we'll get a little bit of snow, but nothing like we saw, and nothing. A lot of times in my part of Texas, it'll get cold, but then by the afternoon it's back up to 40 degrees or something. It might be 20 degrees in the morning, but it'll warm up to 40, 50 degrees in the afternoon, and we're back wearing shorts and smoking brisket out in the backyard and everything. That didn't happen this time, man. They called off work every day this week. They said today was an option to go in. I declined just because the roads were crap, because everything started to melt yesterday, and it all turned into another sheet of ice this morning, because it was 11 degrees when I woke up this morning. But we warmed up to 43 today, so snow's been melting at a very rapid pace. I can see my lawn again, but the side streets, even when I lived in Illinois, when I lived in Ohio, yeah, you get tons and tons of snow, but you got snowplows that'll come and clear the streets and stuff like that. We don't have that. I don't think there's a snowplow in Tarrant County, in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I really don't think that there is a snowplow.
Probably not. All
of the side streets were. I went out the other day just to look at what the supermarket looked like. I went shopping Friday before the weekend last week, knowing that it was going to be bad. So I did all of my grocery shopping on Friday. The panic hadn't set in yet, but. See, Wednesday, when did I go to the damn store? What day is today? Today is Friday. I have to keep on reminding myself that today is Friday. I'm broadcasting.
It's Friday the 19th.
Friday Night Freedom, right?
Yes.
So I went Wednesday to the grocery store. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to see, I wanted to see how the roads were, and I wanted to see what the grocery stores look like, and I wanted to check out the gas prices. So the gas prices went from $1.98 a gallon to $2.30 a gallon. Let me see. The grocery store is completely obliterated. It looked like Venezuela in certain sections. Like if you go down the juice aisle, you still got your high C, and on the soda aisle, you still, Cokes and stuff that they were still there. All the water was gone. The produce section, where all the fresh fruits and vegetables was probably 20% stocked. It was like all the crap was left over. There were some grapes and some really beat up looking onions. It's just all this random weird onions. Stuff. Yeah. But that
one banana that no one wants.
I did get bananas. I got a bunch of bananas. There was plenty of bananas there. Let me see where I'm kind of mentally going through the grocery store. So all of the orange juices and butter and what else? Yogurts, cottage cheese, sour cream, all of that stuff. The entire thing was empty. And then opposite that aisle is the cheese. It's like a whole thing, a whole row of cheese going from front to back of the grocery store. There wasn't a flake of cheese in the entire damn store.
Of course,
cheese no milk,
a staple food.
No milk. There was no milk. There was no creamers. There was some of that Ready Whip. The little whip topping.
Oh yeah.
And that was it. Meat. The meat aisle was there was some chicken left. There were two pork shoulders left. There was one massive salmon fillet that was just, it was like probably as long as from the tips of my fingers to my elbow, a big salmon fillet. I was like, ooh, that looks pretty damn good. But there was no meat. There was no beef. There was no beef patties, no nothing like that. There was a plentiful amount of all the synthetic meat, that plant-based meat products and whatnot. It's like no one ever.
Shit that Bill Gates wants everyone to eat.
Right. It was not touched. It looked like they just stocked it, man. It was full. It was like that was immune from people hoarding.
It reminds me, there was a bad storm that rolled over Virginia when I was living in Virginia, and everything was cleared out except for that one little section, the vegan section. It was like untouched.
Even when the Rona hit, that was another one of the people went bonkers and bought everything, and the only thing that was still there was all the plant-based vegan products that like no one eats, at least not here in Texas.
The jackfruit, I'll eat the jackfruit. Me and my mother went grocery shopping today, and they had a big jackfruit. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, check this out." And she's like, "What the hell is that?"
Is that the hand grenade looking thing?
Dude, the thing's like massive. It's like the size of like I don't know, the hippo baby. They're like literally like 60 pounds. But no, it's just, I digress.
So hey, we have a guest tonight. We've been banging on Ohio's door for guests for the longest time, and they've really pulled through in spades, man. So tonight we have Scott Fox and Don Ward from the Ohio chapter of Bearded Rebellion. They're going to be here to talk about what they do exactly as an organization. The Bearded Rebellion was founded in 2018, and they're a beard club that prides itself on family, charity, loyalty, and brotherhood. So I see that you came prepared just in commemoration for today. I didn't shave this morning. So there's a little bit down there.
Yeah, get that afternoon shadow.
Yeah, that's about as good as I can do in a day.
If I didn't trim my beard a couple of months ago, it'd probably be like here right now. I trimmed it back a bit.
So we've had some great guests. We had Back the Heroes Rumble. You remember them? And we had Hanoi's Last Child Foundation last week. So this is just this is awesome, man. We just have a great string of guests coming out of the state of Ohio. So they're gonna be here at the top of the hour. Ooh. So like I was saying, the temperature dropped. The entire state of Texas, including some of the Gulf of Mexico, or all along the Texas shore, water temperature went way down, and it tended to put to sleep some sea turtles. So as the cold weather made its way across the Rio Grande Valley, let me get I got some pictures. As the cold weather made its way across the Rio Grande Valley, water temperatures plunged. This means that cold stunning had started with the sea turtles in the bay. These cold-blooded reptiles are impacted by the cold water, and they become very lethargic, and they're unable to swim. So there's some, I guess, Henry Rodriguez, owner of the Henry's Charters, a boat tour agency in the South Padre Island area, said that he went out several times looking for stunned turtles. Rodriguez said he pulled out about 105 sea turtles on Sunday and about 80 more on Monday. They just kind of go bloop and they float to the surface. These animals float when they're stunned, and the only way they go down is by using their flippers. They're going to become very lethargic, sluggish, and all they can do at that point is just stick their head up out of the water. And that, because that takes very minimal energy.
Same thing alligators do in swamps, pretty much.
I've seen pictures of like frozen swamps where alligators are there, and it's just their snout sticking up out of the frozen ice.
And that's what they do. They just bob in the water, and they just naturally stick their nose up, and that's how they survive when a cold snap rolls through.
I just kind of want to walk up to him and like flick him in the nose. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. Boop.
Boop him on the nose. Until it snaps and you lose your hand, but all right.
So the amounts of turtles, I said 80 on Monday and 105 on Sunday. Those are just the beginning numbers. There are complete warehouses full of these sea turtles. There's I think they're up to like 4,000 or 5,000 sea turtles right now that are they're hanging out in a warehouse waiting for the weather to get big, and then they'll get warmer rather.
Well, I saw Elon Musk's SpaceX brought some generators in for some of these places so they can keep the turtles. I can't even talk right now, but there was this one. It was huge. It was massive. They said it was like over 200 years old or something like that. No? It was insane.
That's kind of badass.
It's nuts, man.
Because you can get marine biologists out there to go, oh crap, man, look at this dude, and maybe tag them, see where they go. A 200-year-old
Huge,
turtle?
though.
That's massive.
He's freaking huge. I mean, it's just. I mean, things have been living since Jurassic time. So I mean, they know something we don't know.
Maybe we ought to just live in the ocean.
And float around to the top of the water when it gets cold.
Yeah, I just received information that says they're still picking up turtles down there today. They're washing up on the shoreline.
Common practice, though, a lot of people don't realize is like the game wardens, the state game commission, and stuff like that. When this happens, and it happens not as much as you think it does, but every now and then there's a cold snap, and they do this every time. They'll try and save as many turtles, get them in, warm them up. They don't warm them up; they just let them kind of chill. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever raised reptiles or anything like that, but certain tortoises, you have to hibernate them. So you stick them in the fridge. You have to stick them in a fridge for a couple months and let them go into hibernation, and then you pull them out, let them warm back up, and then feed them. Michael
Summer says there's so many sea turtles. Panda Express has announced a new menu item: turtle soup.
Oh, so good.
I've never had it.
Turtle gumbo is the shit. Huh?
I've never had it. See, I got a guy at work that likes alligator. He likes to eat alligator. I've never.
Very delicious. Love it. And iguana's good too. People are like, "What? Iguana is delicious."
Yeah.
Yes. Florida man speaking here. I know you shouldn't the thing.
So we've got Texas. Texas has its own power grid, and you've probably seen a lot of stuff in the news about Texas. You got your own power grid and it failed.
There's some people that I literally wish I could reach through the internet right now and smack them, because all they're doing is just repeating what they're hearing from the mainstream media. It agitates me because I don't really know what's going on. But I'll let you go on with it.
We'll talk about it in a second. What I do want to talk about, we have a power company. What happened is the state of Texas deregulated their power grid. They made their own power grid, and they deregulated it. So there's an incredible amount of competition here. So here in Texas, I have the option. I can shop for electricity, and there's a lot of very good options. You can go with TXU, which is the Texas Utilities, and they're good, but they're expensive. They're probably, I don't know, right now if you want to get their stuff, it's probably 15 cents per kilowatt hour. We're getting a call. We're getting a call. Who's this?
Center Point. Oh God.
WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Caller, we're having a problem hearing you.
Hello?
Hey, WTF Nation Radio. What's happening?
Not much. Yeah, got the number from the Facebook site. Just wanted to talk about the Texas weather.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. Are you in Texas?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Hutto, home of the hippos.
You're a Huddle hippo.
Yes.
So what do you think about this? Is that I saw your area code. Is that near Austin?
Yes. We are north of Austin. Probably takes about 45 minutes to make it to South Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to drive all the way down to South Austin to even drop my kid off because they cut power off for the supposed rolling blackouts.
That was pretty bad. I was largely unaffected by that. My power, I went to bed. I forget. It was so uneventful. I forgot what day it was. I woke up in the middle of the night, noticed that my power was out and things were a little bit cold. And I woke up in the morning, got things, I started preparing for having a day of no power, and then the power came back on. So I think it was off maybe 44 hours, maybe.
Yeah, we were at the about 96-hour mark before our power got turned back on.
There were some folks out there. I got some friends down in the San Antonio area that were out for days. It was like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I had to drive down to South Austin to drop my kids off so my son could get a breathing treatment because nobody around here has generators, really. Yeah, so that was about a 45-minute drive, wound up being a 2-hour drive. wound up having to get a hotel in Rockdale, which is about a normal 30-minute drive. Took about 2 hours.
You found a hotel room though. That's good. I heard that they were
very lucky.
They were full.
The heater worked until about 10 before the power tripped, and then wound up having to go to Fort Hood for the next night for a hotel. I can honestly say that was the first time I said I was happy to still be in the military.
Right? Yeah, you can get on post. Yeah, and I heard from several different sources that Fort Hood was kind of, I guess they have their own power system, so there were no power outages. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Nah, we had I think about 9 people from Hutto all together at the hotel I was at, and then the rest were at the other hotel on Fort Hood.
Your son got his breathing treatment okay, though? Everything's fine?
Yes. My son got the breathing treatment, stayed with my parents, is still technically still at my parents for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wound up he's got respiratory issues, so about a day and a half without a breathing treatment or his full breathing treatment. And he was starting to have issues breathing, as well as starting to get hypothermia, because I think we left the house when it wound up hitting in the 40s inside the house.
Oh, dude, no. I really think that when I woke up in the morning, I looked at my thermostat and it was 55 or something like that. It wasn't bad. And that's the problem with Texas houses, especially the further south you go. They're and I heard someone said it, and I thought about it for a minute. I'm thinking this is absolutely correct. That the houses in Texas are actually meant to keep the heat out. They're not meant to keep the cold out. I've got ridge vents.
It was bad. I think the best meme or the best thing I saw was pictures on Facebook of Florida pole line workers coming to help, and the people who actually turned on our power and got our power running was a crew from Wisconsin.
Well, that's awesome.
That's legit.
We had I remember go ahead.
It wasn't even the people who actually run our grid. We saw the people who run our portion of the grid in the town where we were coming back from the first night of the hotel.
Oh, shoot. I remember we had an ice storm up here, and it didn't hit Oklahoma, but we had Oklahoma trucks down here, clearing off streets. But Oklahoma got
even
just
had the
nailed.
Cajun. I think we had Cajun Navy too.
Yeah.
Around in our area. And they're suffering their own self too.
Yeah, they got nailed as well. Everybody in the South got nailed. Everybody in the middle of the United States, and by the middle of the United States, I mean anywhere west of Florida and anywhere east of like Arizona, got just this unexpected. It wasn't unexpected. It was just super cold for a long time.
Yeah, and it's bad when my work shuts down, because my work really never shuts down.
I have the same experience. My job is never. They actually have an inclement weather hotline you call, and it just says all plants are open. But my boss called me and says, "Dude, we're not doing anything."
Yeah, even in this power outage, my work's generator is no more.
Yeah, we had all those rolling blackouts and stuff. I mean, I work on an airport, so their power is usually pretty secure. So we still, we had, there were so many issues in so many different places, and people were under duress with all these other power outages. And we had water problems for a while too, low water pressure or absolutely no water. They just called work for the entire week. Wednesday and Thursday, they started talking about going back into work, but then it was just like a collective, everybody in my lab is on a group chat, and it's just like, no, I'm not going in.
Yeah. Our water company had to turn off water because the pumps were failing, so they turned it off prior. And the operations manager, who actually was out working with the field crew, was giving updates as far as what was going on, his cell phone number, if anybody needed anything and everything like that.
Yeah, it's good you guys are, staying in touch, and there's, making sure all your folks are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for the input and the update. Everything's good now. We had a nice warm day today. Did you warm up pretty good down there?
I had to turn on the AC in the car.
No. Yeah, I didn't make it out of the house today.
37 got a little hot.
I'm waiting for all this crap to get off the side roads. I bet you the interstates are probably okay. They may freeze again tonight, but really tomorrow I think is the big day where all this snow is just going to disappear and everything's going to be fine.
Well,
and we're supposed to get rain.
I know TxDOT was using bulldozers on some of the highways. Because it was literally nothing but clear road.
I hope they're doing something, because it's just we're not equipped to remove snow, and I guess by whatever means necessary, right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was bad. We had, I think, from what I heard from a reliable source whose name I can't say, they literally talked about winterizing for about 40 seconds to a minute.
A little late
as far as everything went. Yeah. But it was all on a phone call, and their policy, it's not a mandated policy, but a recommendation policy.
Right. And that's
winterizing.
I mean, Dan Crenshaw said, we've got, a lot of the reasons, and I've got some pictures coming up in my next story that just show it's just one of the power plants, and it's just like everything was covered in ice. And he goes, all of our gas delivery is pipelined, and nothing is prevented from freezing. So when it gets that cold, stuff freezes. They don't have a way to thaw it out. And yes, the wind, some of the wind turbines, we get like 8 to 12% of our reserve energy from wind turbines, and those failed. Not necessarily
those froze over.
Some of them froze over, some of them didn't. But the battery storage systems, they were running at a 60% deficit, because when batteries get cold, they don't hold a charge. So
yeah, and I know tdim.texas.gov, they have a deal for self-assess, or pretty much seeing if everybody's okay, damage done.
Mm-hmm.
As far as broken water lines, stuff like that it does help Texas as far as FEMA money.
Yeah.
Pretty much pushing FEMA for the funding to help everybody that needs it.
Yeah. I saw some pretty brutal pictures, man, of pipes bursting. I mean, I have friends of mine that live in condos in downtown Fort Worth, and they had lots of pipe burst problems. They'd wake up in the morning and their living room was full of water because one of the units nearby, burst. People were losing power. There were icicles hanging off of ceiling fans. It was pretty bad, man.
Yeah, my mother-in-law had a pipe burst under their foundation of the apartment complex that she's in.
That's bad news right there.
It came in to her bedroom. It went into the maintenance man's bedroom.
Uh-oh. Everything
like that. And I think we've had about 10 houses so far that have had pipes burst, just because they'd never had their they didn't insulate their main line.
Mm-hmm.
with a pillow or anything, and then they never let it drip.
There was a thing that was put out, because normally if it's going to get cold, you leave not your outside faucets, but you leave like your bathroom faucet or anything that's on an exposed wall, an outside wall. You leave it drip just a little bit. But since we were having water issues and water pressure issues, the water district said, "Hey, don't stop letting your faucets drip, man. We don't have any pressure left."
They actually make special valves for the outdoor.
Yeah, they have a freeze.
They're meant to kind of pop.
Yeah, freeze proof.
Yeah, we had one person who actually put one of those covers on, those foam covers on.
Yep.
And it actually turned on their faucet a little to where it wound up busting.
Oh no! Yeah, I've got it's like a little sack.
Having to pull their siding off.
That sucks. I was afraid of that. I've got one faucet. I've got 3 spigots outside. One of them was easy to cover. Another one of them is brand new. I just had it changed out like a couple summers ago, so I knew it was good to go. I covered it with it's like a little sock. It's about as big as your hand, and it's got a drawstring on it. And as long as it keeps the direct wind off of it, you're good to go. But I've got one spigot that's leaking just a little bit, but I still covered it up. And I looked at it the other day, and there's an icicle going from like the corner of this little sock that I put on all the way to the ground. I got to get that changed out this year.
Yeah, we had a few AC units freeze over because it was so cold. Luckily, we wound up getting ours. We had to get ours replaced a year and a half, a little more than a year ago, because January 1st, I think, last year or the year before, it actually went out on New Year's Day. And
New Year.
I was having to come. Yeah, I was having to come out about once every 4 hours when this whole winter storm first started to knock off all the ice that was on top and building around it.
Oh gosh.
So between that and having to warm up in the car to prevent getting any cold injuries.
Right. That's important too.
Oh, but it was bad to the point where it took 10 hits with a hammer to break one portion off.
And there's a sweet spot too. You don't want to hit that too hard. Too hard, you're breaking stuff.
Nah. But we were all pretty much our whole community for our subdivision wound up banding together and trying to help everybody out.
That is really cool.
We had people that needed medical treatments that weren't able to get it because the weather canceled everything, closed all the roads. And it's one of those, it's like, hopefully you don't need the medical attention because it's going to take a while.
Yeah, I was hearing I got a fire station right down the street from me, and they were I mean, all night long. You just hear them going off. But there was nobody on the roads.
I'm volunteer for fire and EMS, and literally they weren't even toning volunteers out for the whole Monday night until I think it was Tuesday afternoon.
Oof.
They were toning the paid departments neighboring us because they had the generators to charge their trucks.
Yeah, and they've got to maintain their trucks too. I mean, you go out on a call and you got to bring it back and make it 100%, at least as close as you can, right?
Yep. And the only time that you'll actually see, I think we had a few vehicles in our subdivision that had snow tires, but those were all from the Yankee territory. They were all north of the river.
North of the Red River.
Yankee territory. No, I'm a hillbilly. I'm going to take offense to some of these things you're saying here.
All right, man. Hey, I got to let you go because I got to carry on with the rest of the show. I do appreciate you calling, though, man.
Not a problem.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye. So back to Gritty. Gritty's another one of those electric providers. And the problem with I kind of got a little bit derailed. Texas deregulated their electrical grid, so there's all these competing companies that want to sell you electricity. So they sell this electricity, and it gets delivered through Encore, ONCOR. So these are pictures.
Okay,
it's
Encore
right Electrical Delivery. They do the delivery, but there's that other one.
Was it
ERCOT?
Yeah, ERCOT.
ERCOT does the generation. They sell it to companies, and then the companies deliver it through Encore. So here's just a bunch of pictures of just random ass. This is the same power station, and you can see everything is frozen, and there's really no way to unfreeze it. But Gritty is an electrical wholesaler. So you pay whatever the rate is. You pay like $9 a month, $9.99 a month, and then you pay per kilowatt hour whatever the going rate is, and that rate fluctuates. You might be paying 3 cents per kilowatt hour. You might be paying 12 cents a kilowatt hour. I've got a fixed rate. I'm paying 8.6 cents per kilowatt hour up to 1,000 kilowatts, and then after 1,000 kilowatts, it's like 12.6 cents. I'll never pay more than 12.6 cents per kilowatt hour. If you're in like New York City, we're there on this big East Coast grid, I think is what it's called. I mean, they start out at like 20 cents per kilowatt hour.
Yeah, in Virginia, I think I was buying power from a company that bought power from another company, so I was paying a uber premium at that point, but it was a cooperative, so they gave me some cash back at the end of the year, but I think it was paying like 17 cents a kilowatt hour.
That's expensive, man. I'd freak out. So anyway, some retail power companies in Texas are making an unusual plea for their company to their customers amid a deep freeze that has sent electricity wholesale prices skyrocketing. They sent one power supplier called Gritty told all 29,000 of their customers that they should switch to another provider. They were like, if you can switch providers, switch providers, because the wholesale price for electricity soared to $9,000 per megawatt hour, which is about $9 per kilowatt hour.
That's batshit crazy.
That is
man.
Nuts, dude. If you use 1,000 kilowatts,
the average household probably uses about 1,000 kilowatt hours. It's a megawatt hour at that point.
This is a megawatt hour.
A month.
This is 10,
a month. I'd say about a month is about average.
2 times 10 to the 6th power as opposed to 10 to the 3rd.
Yeah, we do math now.
Let's just throw math in here. So anyway, if they stick with Gritty, they're going to be paying this premium price of $9,000 per megawatt hour, which is that's fucking expensive, dude. So they'd be paying like $900 per kilowatt hour. That's incredible.
See, I've always been a firm believer that if you do not produce your own power, you cannot sell power. That's my firm belief on that. But like I was telling you about Virginia, I was in a cooperative. They bought it from this company called Dominion. If you happen to be in the area where you can get Dominion power, excuse me, you paid 9 cents a kilowatt hour. But if you were on what was called the Rappahannock Electric Cooperative, which they bought power from Dominion, you had to pay a premium for it.
See,
you couldn't switch. I mean, that's the thing, though, is like a lot of these East Coast places, you have only one choice.
Yeah, there's no competition. That's why when I lived in Ohio for a while and I was trying to shop around for electricity, this is what you got. You have one choice.
It's the same with the telecommunications companies too in some areas.
Oof.
Which is kind of crazy, but yeah, it's a different subject.
So, Gritty's customers are fully exposed to the real-time swings in the wholesale power markets. So those who don't leave soon will face extraordinarily high electrical bills. That would floor me, dude, to have to take a loan out to pay my electrical bill. We had, I use under 1,000 kilowatts per month. The only months that really I use more than that, not even in the summer. My air conditioning unit is super efficient. I might be using 800 kilowatts in the peak of the summer, but normally I'm staying around 400 or 500 kilowatts per month.
That's really good.
When I moved into this house, first thing I did, it was insulation. Second thing I did, I got new doors and new windows. And that'll
save you so much money in the long run. A lot of people don't realize that is proper insulation, making sure that you're not leaking environmental control out into the environment. You know,
I am. I've got a couple of bay doors that go out to my deck that I need to get. I think I'm going to put a sliding door in there. Just because I
get that double, triple, quadruple pane glass in there, you'll be good, man.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Right now, I've got these. It's an old door. It's an old pair of bay doors. So there's 2 doors side by side that open up opposite of each other. You know, one swings out to the left, one swings out to the right. It's which is nice. It looks nice, but you can see daylight through it, so I know it's not efficient at all. Even if I change the seals on it, I can't change the bottom seal. They don't make this door anymore. My house is 1984, and the bottom seal is just, I would have to rig something up in order for that to work. But I got a quote for a guy to come out and replace it, and the quote for those two doors was like $4,000.
That's insane.
So I think I'm just going to put in a sliding door, which is going to be a little less expensive than that.
I would say, if I find you a good woodworker, and you could probably find it cheaper, and he'll probably be able to insulate it properly for you.
I can find a door that will fit, but the largest door that I found that can fit is going to need a lot of buildup, and that's where that's where a lot of the cost came is the buildup. So anyway, we've made an unprecedented decision, Gritty says, to tell our customers whom we've worked very, very hard to get that they're better off in the near term with another provider. We want to do what's right by our customers, so we're encouraging them to leave. We believe that transparency and that honesty will bring them back once the prices return to normal. Texas is home to some of the most competitive electricity markets in America. Homeowners and businesses churn power providers like credit cards in the face of the cutthroat competition, and that's true. I usually sign about a year contract, and if I don't like the rates 1 year, I've got 20 choices to go and sell me power.
That is good though. I mean, people say that's bad. I don't understand why they say it's bad, because you find the person that can give you the best service at that point. I don't know. It just agitates me seeing some people, all these people that don't live in Texas, that don't understand how it works. Because I lived in Texas forever. I understand how this works. Mm-hmm. But you get these people from the East Coast, West Coast, California, all those Californians going, "Oh, you're pro," and like, all right, dude.
Well, I've got some friends in California. They're like, "Oh, is this your?" We go through brownouts and rolling blackouts all the time. You'll get used to it. I'm like, no, this is
something to brag about, right? I'm gonna brag about my rolling blackouts. A cold snap happens like once every 70 years, 100 years in Texas. It's the first time their power's gone out like this.
So the good thing about Gritty is you pay $10 a month, but sometimes you get, if the cost of energy, if the wholesale cost of energy is super, super low, you might get money back at the end of the month.
That's legit.
And it's usually about 5 or 6 cents per kilowatt hour, maybe as much as $1. But now with this big ass cold thing that we had come through, it's so that's that. So when you travel, you don't travel very much, do you? Not at all.
No, I used to. I don't now. This with my personal mental things going on, I don't like to do it too much.
So here's a funny little story. This lady was flying. She was going from Detroit to Amsterdam, and of course, when you go on an international flight, they ask you on your outbound interrogation if you have anything to declare. And you're not allowed, as an American traveler, to travel with more than $10,000 in cash.
I don't understand this, but
I can explain it. So a woman heading to Amsterdam from Detroit Metropolitan Airport, I love that airport, actually, hid thousands of undeclared currency dollars among her sanitary napkins. So if you look at that picture, she has her pads there, and then there was like a pad and then an envelope and then a pad and then an envelope and then a pad and then an envelope. And it was full of cash, man. She had $60,000 stashed away in her pad stash.
Should have just bought Bitcoin. You've been good.
The woman said her stash had her stash discovered by U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers during an outbound enforcement investigation. The woman declared that she was carrying about $1,000 in cash, but an inspection of her baggage revealed more than $60,000 bundled in envelopes and concealed in a package of sanitary napkins. The money was seized. In an effort to stop other illegal activity, travelers coming into or out of the United States carrying more than $10,000 in currency are required to formally report the amount. Otherwise, the money may be seized, and the traveler may face criminal charges. So, Customs Border Protection enforces these regulations these are the reasons, to combat money laundering and other criminal offenses. And there's still no word if actual charges have been filed against her. Right. And I looked. I went to the CBP website. There's mention of this, but there's no mention of there's no mention of any criminal proceedings.
Money laundering. Our government's worried about money laundering.
Well, right. When our government is the chief money launderer.
Master of it. No. If I want to travel overseas with $60,000 in my pocket, I should be able to do it.
So do you know who Tessica Brown is?
No.
Tessica Brown. So I'm going to put up this little this meme, and then you can tell me if you know who Tessica Brown is. I'll give it a couple of seconds to filter through the little delay thing we have going on here.
Dun, 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 dun,
Introducing the new Gorilla Girl Weekender Pack.
Oh, that one. All right.
The Gorilla Glue Girl. Tessica Brown, the woman who went viral after putting Gorilla Glue in her hair instead of hairspray, says that she's going to give $20,000 that she raised through a GoFundMe page to a foundation run by the surgeon who saved her hair. The Louisiana resident Brown went viral earlier this month, and here's a before picture of Tessica. Beautiful head of hair. I mean, she had really, really nice hair. After garnering huge attention on the internet, LA-based surgeon Dr. Michael Obeng offered to fix Brown's hair for free. Earlier this week, TMZ posted a video of her getting operated on in the operating room. So anyway, she used Gorilla Glue spray on her hair, and it was stuck. It was stuck like Chuck, dude. So she posted videos on her Instagram and Twitter saying that her hair has been stuck in place for more than a month because she used Gorilla Glue as a substitute for hairspray. So she ended up, yeah. It's very stupid, but this is very real. This happened. She's a teacher too. So here's a picture of her getting her.
What's that old saying? Beauty is pain.
Well, I think that only has to do with like women's shoes and stuff. So anyway, she's fine now. She had her hair surgery or whatever process she went through. She's fine now. So now Brown wants to pay Obeng back by making a sizable donation to the foundation that he runs. During her Gorilla Glue saga, Brown launched a GoFundMe page with an initial goal of $1,500 to help her pay for expenses related to what she called this quote, this unfortunate ordeal is what she called it. And in her GoFundMe, it says, "Hi, my name is Tessica Brown, and I'm a small town girl who happened to make a mistake by putting Gorilla Glue spray on my hair as a substitute for the product Got to Be Glued hairspray," which is a legit thing. My daughters both danced, and we used Got to Be Glued religiously because
saw that today while I was shopping. So I was like, really now?
Yeah, and that stuff it'll do the job. So anyway,
beeswax, like beeswax was a legit thing back in the day, instead of glue. I don't know.
So Tessica continues. She goes, "As most of you know, my hair was stuck in place for about a month. After reading and researching, I realized I may need medical help and my hair may need to be shaved. So I made this GoFundMe account to help with any expenses related to this unfortunate ordeal. I would like to thank everyone who reached out." Following her viral success, donors flooded to the page. And as of last Sunday morning, Brown had raised more than $23,000. To thank Dr. Obeng for his help in fixing her hair, which he reportedly did not charge her for. There are reports that Brown will now give the majority of that money to the Restore Foundation. This is a nonprofit started by Obeng with the aim of providing reconstructive surgery for people in developing nations. According to reports, Brown's manager says that she's going to keep roughly $1,000 of the money raised on her GoFundMe to pay for her travel from Louisiana to Los Angeles, and it's going to pay for her emergency trip that she made back in Louisiana. So everything's good. She's got a nice set of hair now, and she didn't lose all of it. But hopefully she's learned a lesson. This is
I'm glad everything came out good. I don't like stupid people, but sometimes people make mistakes, and I'm glad it all worked out for
her. So we've got to take a break here in like 5 minutes, but I do want to get to this last story. And I think this is the WTF Nation Radio Friday Night Freedom Feel Good Story of the Week. I don't have any. I don't have any mushy music or I don't have any of that stuff. But the story goes a little something like this, and this is how you get an A+ in bomb making class. At least 30 Taliban militants have died in Afghanistan after they blew themselves up during a bomb-making class. I saw this headline, and I'm like, oh, this is a rebroadcast, or this is a rehash of an old story, because
this is amazing.
A couple of years ago, this happened, it happened like February 11th, 2018, where in bomb-making class, somebody detonated their shit and it killed everybody. So I thought this was the same story that someone's trying to rehash as brand new. But
is that a legit picture from where the bomb blast happened?
That bottom right picture is a picture from the story. I do not know if this is a. That's a nice
very
bomb.
Similar to a mosque, oddly enough.
Huh. That's interesting. You mentioned that. The Comma Press News Agency said that the fighters died when improvised explosive devices that they were learning to construct exploded inside of a mosque. Quoting a release from the Afghan Army's 209th Shaheen Corps. The blast happened last Saturday morning at a mosque in the village of Kultak in the Dawlatabad district in this other province that I can't pronounce.
Amalama ding dong.
The fighters that were killed included 6 foreign nationals. The bodies of 6 foreigners could not be identified because of the extent of the damage caused by the explosion.
I guess a good and a bad thing at the same sense. It's good that they're not existing anymore, but it's bad in a sense that we don't know where these people came from. But I'm going to guess Iran.
or maybe in a Slavic nation, Chechnya.
Yeah, Chechnya.
The militants had gathered there regularly to learn techniques for making bombs and IEDs from the 6 foreigners. I guess they were the instructors. They were considered subject matter experts. So there's our WTF Nation Radio Friday Night Freedom Feel Good Story of the Week.
Oh, they went boom boom.
Isn't that great?
In the room.
They didn't say how many people, but they just said among the dead were 6 foreigners.
What do you call that? A self-correcting issue?
Exactly. I think they ought to get special recognition.
Give them some medals. This thing, for being stupid.
Honorary diplomas.
There's 6 less idiots in the world that could cause harm to people just minding their own fucking business.
Right. So I see we have Scott Fox is banging on the door. He wants to get online to do our interview here at the top of the hour. So we're going to take a break here and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. I got to get my break stuff all hooked up here. All right, okay. Hang tight. We got Bearded Rebellion's Ohio chapter coming up right at the top of the hour.
Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, Mia, you better hide your baby, or you better hide that big ass forehead.
Well, all right, we're back. My last song didn't play, so my intro music didn't play. So here we're back again for the second hour of Friday Night Freedom here on WTF Nation Radio. I am joined by Don and Scott from Bearded Rebellion, the Ohio chapter. You guys, the organization is massive, and you've got chapters all over the place. How's it going, guys?
Doing good.
Thanks for joining us. Wow, you guys have some pretty damn awesome beards. I was telling Pooky, and you can't see me on the camera, but I on purpose didn't shave this morning just so I have a little something.
Hey, every little bit counts.
Those are all majestic, man. I love those beards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about Bearded Rebellion. You guys are coming out of Ohio. What do you guys do?
I mean, we're just a group of guys that grow beards, and we want to do we want to support military personnel, law enforcement, first responders, and we just try to do meetups whenever we're able to.
How did you guys get started? You guys started out in 2018 as a beard club, and you pride yourselves on family, charity, loyalty, and brotherhood. Tell me a little bit about that. It took like two guys to get together, man. You got a great beard. Hey, you got a great beard too. We ought to start a club. Is that about how it went?
That's what it feels like. That was before my time. But since I've been here, I definitely can feel that, and I can see it in a lot of things that goes on here. So it's definitely a little different than other things I've experienced in life. So.
And I'd
say the same thing. I came in when we were less than 100 members, and now we're close to, I believe, 330 members.
Just in the Ohio chapter?
No, that's internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Growing every day too.
That's awesome, and we've had a series of great organizations from the state of Ohio. We talked to Back the Heroes Rumble a couple of weeks ago, Hanoi's Last Child Foundation last week, and they're doing a one of those two. I think they're doing a car show. I mean, it's just so many people with great hearts and kind of common goals are getting together, raising funds for fallen firefighters, first responders, veterans. Are you guys veterans yourselves?
I'm a ex-police officer.
Thank you both for your service.
Thank you.
I'm guessing you're retired now, Scott?
No, I went a different route. I went from being a police officer to now I work in the juvenile detention center.
That's an awesome place to be. My brother's a police officer, and he loves, one of his favorite parts about his job is he gets to work with a lot of kids.
Yeah, it's in some parts it can be rewarding, and then other parts you just feel like you're not getting anywhere because you see the same kids over and over.
It really all depends on their ages too. My ex-wife is a psychologist, and she on purpose worked with kids that were around the 6th grade age, because anytime after 6th grade they're already set in their ways. Do you find an age group of kids that's easier to work with?
I mean, I feel if we can get to them younger, I believe the youngest we'll take is 11, and if we can get to them early. I've seen some where I've only seen them in there once and then never seen them again, and then there's some I see them in there every other week.
Are these like at risk youth, or are they just kids in general?
Yeah, I'd probably say they are at risk. A lot of them are involved in gangs.
Is that a problem in your part of Ohio? You're in the Cincinnati area, right?
I'm in the Dayton, Ohio area.
Dayton, okay.
I mean, you don't see it too much, but there's a lot of gun violence around, which I think, between the drug game and the gangs, that all ties in together. But it's not tagged all over buildings like you would in some major cities.
It's there. I mean, it's probably not as much as like in Columbus.
Right.
Yeah, I lived in Toledo for a while, so it's there's a lot of shady crap going on up there, but
yeah.
Dayton's not a small town either, man. That's it's almost shocking to hear a town that size, a city that size isn't. I mean that gang element is there, the drug element is there, it's everywhere. It's just more pronounced, I suppose, in other municipalities.
Yeah, we've got a small suburb just outside of Dayton, and it's very well known for being cartel controlled right now.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of those documentaries on Netflix and stuff, and you're just like all these, small towns in Virginia, and you're like, what? MS-13? It's kind of cold up there. Why the hell are they up there? But it's all about money, money and power.
100% cost, man.
Really? I don't get out much. So Don, you said you were in the military as well?
I was, yeah. I was in the Army for 9 years.
Tell me about your service. What'd you do?
You know about the crick and weenie.
I was Signal, so I did a lot of communications.
Cable dog.
Oh yeah, 25 series. What'd you do?
25 Bravo.
That's exactly what I did too, man. Yeah, that's cool, man.
I got out too. That's it. I got tired of that.
Oh shit! I quit doing it because I hated people, man. I just hate people, and then I thought working with computers, I could get away from people, and then you're just around people all the time. It's just nuts, man.
Just sitting around waiting for people to fuck something up.
Well, thanks, Don, for your service. You got any cool stories?
Just a lot of communications. Just kind of. Not really, I guess.
Oh hell, OTAR.
I guess they're all cable dogs. Anybody in a Signal MOS are all cable dogs, but they have actual cable dogs. The Ridge Runners in freaking Korea were just legit. But
I love how everyone thinks that if you're communications, you're automatically a cable dog.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
hey, run this cable here, son. Run this.
Well, that happened a lot, so we did run a lot of cables.
Yeah. I went to AIT at Fort Gordon, but I've got an aviation MOS. So the barracks behind us were the cable dogs, and that's all you hear them doing is calling cadence. And his cable dog is every other word. So
they were a prideful group, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. So when you guys got involved with Bearded Rebellion, I mean, you guys you just have a common interest. Everybody just wants to make a difference. You want to do something. You want to do something good. Supporting the first responders. Is that not about it? But is that the gist of the reason for your organization?
There's quite a few different charities that come along because recently we did one for autism, and then there's some other ones coming up in the future. But they're above like the big guys make those up, come out with those, and then we just kind of do our part to support them.
See, I've been through there's like a master page like Bearded Rebellion. And then, they've got, you go to the shop and you can see all these patches and there's, domestic violence and there's, your autism awareness and things like that. You guys do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the campaigns that you've been a part of.
Well, I'd say one, it's not really charity related, but before the whole pandemic hit, we did what was called our OKI meetup, which consisted of our Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana chapters. And we met up in Kentucky at the Bowling Green, Dave & Buster's. Our international president, Ramey, came down and hung out. Also, some of the Maryland brothers came down and hung out. We pretty much just took that place over.
You get a lot of nervous looks from people when you guys roll up?
Not really, man. It's just, seeing people just look at all these guys with beards. And, we're already planning the next one.
Hey, I mean, you guys get together in the middle of a meetup or an event, and you're just like, you're already planning the next one because they're fun. I imagine that they're just a blast.
I mean, it's been real hard with the pandemic. A couple of the guys still try to meet up and get together. It's whatever, everybody feels comfortable doing right now.
You guys find it difficult to wear masks everywhere you go?
Yes, because it puts an awful dent in the beard.
Do you guys need like a COVID-19 patch or some kind of event, raise money to buy, PPE for hospitals or whatever, and then you guys get this big ass COVID-19 patch on your sleeve.
I think we had actually, at the beginning of it, jokingly talked about having a patch made up.
It's a great idea, trust me. So how many chapters? I mean, the Bearded Rebellion is the parent. How many different chapters do you have?
Well, Brandon, he's our vice president and then the secretary of the entire club. Unofficially, there's 48 chapters, but so they don't have enough members to become full chapters yet, and including all the regular chapters.
How many states do you guys cover?
I don't know the exact number of that, but there's a lot.
Yeah, then we've got the United Kingdom, Australia, and I think I saw we got Brazil too.
Really?
And Canada. Don't forget Canada.
I know. Don't be mad at me.
I did see the maple leaf on the Facebook.
Maple syrup makes your beard grow bigger.
The thing is, you go to the UK and you start getting all these decorative beards. You guys do that too?
We actually just did a beard competition.
I don't know what I don't want to upset anybody. I'm calling them decorative beards, where they're like sculpted into shapes and things. What do you call that?
A couple. One of the guys, Maestro, he's got a fairly long beard and he's a musician, and he formed his into a musical note.
That's crazy.
Won him gold in the freestyle.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Freestyle? Because you got, I don't know. You guys have very full beards. Pookie's got a very full beard. I don't know of any other kind of beard. It's either neatly trimmed or it just grows all the way down your neck and into your chest. That kind of beard, or
I knew a blacksmith in Virginia, and he'd be in a beard competitions, and he would do they'd get him chops, best in chops, but he would shave his goatee area off and just let it all grow out. Besides that, and he would always get he'd win all kinds of awards.
So it was blank down the middle, if I'm visualizing that correctly. Blank down the middle, and then it just comes down the side.
Shave your goatee, and everything else is just chops, pretty much. And I mean, there's different styles of the beard, but
see, Pook, I've seen you with a long beard. It went down probably your mid abdomen. I think was the longest I've seen it.
Yeah, I tried to cut that thing off. Oh, I felt bad. It hurt deep down in my soul, but I got sick of, trying to eat a taco and stuff,
Well, the thing is, after you're done, it might be a day or two later, but you shake your face and put it in a tortilla, and you got another soft taco there.
Yes. Used to have a hound dog that used to let me know if there was food in my beard because he'd start digging at it. And
there you are sitting on the couch thinking that, puppy loves me. No, you just got food in your beard.
You just had a chicken wing stuck in my beard.
Do you guys have any favorite like beard oils or anything that you use? What's your regimen, your process for maintaining a gorgeous beard like that?
I'd say with me, I usually wash it at night and then let it air dry. And then like every other day I'll do a conditioner in it. And I think right now my go-to is Wanted Man's Al Capone scent. It's like a chocolate strawberry.
Okay. These are new things to me. I don't have a beard. I'm usually clean shaved for work and stuff.
You're speaking Greek to this man.
Yeah.
I understood what you're talking about.
So when I wake up in the morning, before I leave for work, I'll get my oil out and I'll go through my beard with it.
You got to take care of it, or else it's just going to be like just all poofy.
Yeah, it'll just dry out.
Kind of like mine right now because I
like
just kind of
split ends on your face.
And then after the oil, I put balm in it, which sort of
seals it up.
Helps keep the hold for the beard.
What about you, Don?
I think Don got a better process.
Well, I wash mine in the mornings because I wake up and it's all crazy, so it just makes it easier to brush it out. And then I usually use Ultimate Wash from Greenhouse Beard Company, which is actually he's a member, a brother, and the president of Mississippi. And then we do that a couple times a week, and it depends on what I feel like the day of, what oil I'm going to use. But usually I use Rebellious Oils, V&I, Rebellious Oils a lot, Kill 'Em All Beard Oil, and then Ohio Beard Company. I try to keep it small, local type businesses, and a few other ones outside. I kind of got myself a big collection there. So
you guys are supporting the car show that's coming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What are you guys doing?
I'm not exactly sure yet. I just know we're volunteering to probably help other volunteers. So we're just sponsoring the trophy going out to one of the honorees.
Yeah, we're gonna have a booth set up there, and I think we're sponsoring the trophy for Hot Rod, and then this is just it's a big event for me because I'm from Dayton, and Detective Del Rio was a member of the Dayton Police Department and also the DEA task force. And he was shot and killed in the line of duty last year. And so when this all came about, Don told me they were looking for nominations, and I put his name out there, and, thankfully they picked it.
It's hard to choose one. It's hard to choose. There's so many willing, just not willing, just kind of losing words here. It's deserving recipients for the awards. It's hard to choose one, but you gotta whittle it down to one. And I think that's an extremely awesome choice.
Yeah, they're gonna do, actually with the car show, we're doing two. The other one is Jason Ellis, which I believe was the Kentucky State Trooper that was shot and killed, and his case is still open as far as finding out who murdered him.
Has that been taken care of or solved?
No, it's still open.
It's been over a year, hasn't it?
I think it's been close to 2 or 3.
Wow. And it sucks to say, but this happens more and more, and it's been happening more and more and more. And I'm worried for my brother, who's he's made detective, so he's kind of off the beat, but he still goes out, and I'm worried about him. I think he's probably three years away from retirement. So I'm just like, no, dude, just get out. Just he's like, I can't, man, I can't.
Yeah, I want to say it's just it's a lack of respect for the job. It doesn't seem like people respect officers anymore. I remember, growing up, my parents, always showed respect or taught me respect to officers. And I think it's just been pushed to the side now.
I think it's gotten worse now. Maybe, police departments wherever are becoming more too militaristic or whatever, and this all started with like the crime bill of 1994, where this flood of money went to departments, and everyone kind of just started amping up all their stuff, and they had special units and special vehicles and armored personnel carriers, and and I can see how people are getting upset. During that crack epidemic of the time, everyone was just like, where are the police? The police need to do something. And then the police started doing something, and now they're like, hold on a second, the police are doing too much. It's hard to find a balance, especially in an inner city type of community.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I mean, yeah. And I would also say that, some of the events over the past couple of years with that have happened in police departments, doesn't help either.
Yeah. There is that point of going too far, rather than just. I mean, it's just like it's almost taking it personally, and then roughing up a suspect, or everyone's got a camera now, so yeah, I don't know if it's more prevalent or it's just being recorded more.
I think it's being recorded more. I know the first time when I saw the video of George Floyd,
yeah,
I was absolutely disgusted with that.
I think most people, I'm going to throw out a percentage, 99.5% of people were just disgusted with that.
Yeah.
And that lets, a couple of officers, there were 3 or 4 involved, make every police officer or anybody who wears a law enforcement uniform look bad. Yeah. And it's hard to get support. It's not. I don't think it's hard to get support generically. There's those folks that always support police and fire and first responders and whatnot, but it just makes it harder when you're doing a fundraiser for police, for a fallen police officer. I'm wondering if you're getting fewer, positive results because of some of the recent things that have been happening that have been just blasted over the news media.
Yeah, I think the news media plays a big part in it now, because it seems like every headline has to have a race tied to it, no matter what they're talking about. It couldn't just be such and such, or this happened to this person, but it's always got to be this happened to a black male, this happened to a white male.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they blame a big part of it.
Yeah, key trigger words is what I call them. Just they got to have that one word in there to make it sound so nasty. But I totally agree with you on that.
Yep.
So let's get off the down stuff. Let's talk about your logo, man. I think that's badass. I think that would look good as a tattoo. Myself. Tell me about your logo. You guys have a sketch artist on staff or something that just doodles and you guys make logos out of it, or that's badass. I like that skull with a beard and two swords, knives.
Yeah, the skull with the 2 swords. That part was done by Ramey, and we have to get his permission to use that logo in any type of way that we're going to use it. But then I'm not real sure who designed our background for the Ohio chapter. It might have been Brandon.
I don't know. It was before my time. So
before your time, how long have you been around, Don?
It's coming on a year.
A year.
The next month or so. Yeah.
So you're on staff now. You guys do podcasts, or is that the main Bearded Rebellion that does the podcasts?
That's the our international scout, Germ, and he does it with Beans. And I feel bad, but Beans just got a promotion at the international board level, and I've already forgotten what it is.
He's a lieutenant now.
Okay.
A national lieutenant.
Do you guys do any podcasting at all, or you guys just happy doing what you do, getting more attention to your organization and your cause?
We don't have one as a chapter, but just the main one.
Just the main one.
So it's on there weekly. So
well, I think they ought to have.
Good.
Go ahead.
They're pretty good with our with the international podcast. They try to get members from each chapter on there, just so each chapter gets its turn of getting out there and everything.
Yeah, I mean, how cool would it be to see someone from Bearded Rebellion, Ohio, doing a podcast with the main folks, and then chiming in, or the guys from the UK with all the decorative beard stuff.
Yep. I was just on earlier. I was trying to test these headphones out
Uh-huh.
for this call, and I was talking on a video call with a guy from the UK, Australia, and I think Sweden. So this club is very global.
Oh, that's nuts.
You guys just don't exist in your own little bubble. You guys are very involved with each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a time where if you're feeling depressed or you just need somebody to talk to, everybody's phone's always on. You can pretty much get on our chat at any time and say, hey, is anybody up? I need to talk. And probably at least 6 or 7 people are going to jump on and be like, what's going on?
Yep.
Do you have a lot of military veterans, a lot of ex-Leos or first responders in your ranks?
Probably roughly about 25-30%, maybe.
That's good.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try to put this picture.
A question in the chat room asking, how does one become a member?
Just you can message any of the chapter pages. If you're in a state where you are, you can message them, look it up, or you can message the main page. Or
you can message me or Don.
Yeah,
on
we'll
Facebook,
set you up too. So
we'll get you in contact.
All right.
Keep on asking questions, Pookie. I'm trying to do some tech stuff.
He's doing tech stuff. Oh, you put the guy with the least brain for questions. I'm just good at talking with people.
But you've got the greatest beard on staff.
Do you guys do like game events or stuff like that? I'm a super nerd. I like playing games and stuff like that. Yeah,
like any gamers in the Bearded Rebellion staff?
I mean, we got a good group of guys that are, the gamers. We've actually got like a group chat that's just for gamers. We've got a group chat for beer, alcohol, and cigars.
Oh, that's legit. Now you're talking about, okay.
We got a fishing chat. We got a
fishing. I'm down with
That's
this.
Good. That's really
An
good.
addiction one where we've got a couple members who have fought or are still fighting addiction.
They're in recovery.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Actually, our podcast this past weekend, last Sunday, had them on there.
That's do you guys have like a centralized Discord or something that you'd like to plug, or is that kind of like private, for members only kind of club thing?
it's private.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Well, yeah, you got to figure in a 12-step. You got to
try to. Yeah, I don't need no 12-step program. I don't know, man. Like you said, okay. The question: what made you one day decide, screw it, I'm done shaving?
Mine started out was, there's the whole No Shave November. And I started it out then, and I just started getting compliments about how nice the beard looked. And so I said, you know what? I'm letting it grow.
Yep.
Our head honcho had the same thing. He started growing out for No Shave November, and then his kid said, "You're going to be Santa Claus this year," and it's just he's kept it ever since. And I haven't seen him. I saw him when he had like some scruff. But I'll bet you it's kind of majestic now.
Yep. One of the last few days in the Army and stuff, everything I ever talked about was, I'm getting out, I'm growing a beard. And then that was 5 years ago.
And it never stopped, huh?
Yeah.
Never stopped.
Mine was just like, I'm getting out of the Army. I'm never putting a razor blade to my face again. And that was it at that point. I mean, I've trimmed it. But I'm never gonna shave. It's like a baby face. Fuck that shit.
When he shaves his beard, he looks like he's about 17 years old. That's why.
Yes, I do actually. I could literally take 20 years off my life just by shaving my beard, and it's crazy. But I haven't done it yet.
Don't do it.
I don't plan on it. Let's say I had a friend. Okay, this is a story about myself, not y'all, but a friend down in Florida. His wife used to get on all the time. You need to shave. You need to shave. I was like, dude, just cut this shit out. And then he finally just started letting it grow out. And I saw a picture of him. I guess his mom posted a picture from his birthday or some shit a couple days ago. And this shit is like down past his rib cage, and I'm like, Jesus, what kind of monster did I just create? I was like, dude, you be in competitions with that shit, you know? It was nuts. It was
do you guys do competitions? There are that is a thing.
I've competed in 2 of them so far.
We actually just hosted one too. So
did you win? I don't know how you win these things.
The first one that wasn't affiliated with the club, I placed 3rd, and then the one we just did, that we did with Back the Brave, placed 3rd in that also for the holiday beard.
What did your holiday beard look like?
I had bought some shamrocks, and they've got like little small hair clips in them, and I just filled my beard with them.
Do you do the Christmas bedazzling of the beard with the glitter and the
where's
Christmas
Spanky?
ornaments?
Where's Spanky right now?
Where's Jay ready?
She loves that. Oh.
We had another staff member, an older staff member who was tricked into bedazzling the beard. I think it wasn't bedazzled. I think he allowed Spanky and Minx to like hang little beard decorative ornaments on his beard.
What happened was he got handcuffed and they did it to him. I guess that's what I like to think. But I can't get myself to do that. I just can't. So I mean, all the power to y'all that can do that.
I think one of
the only thing going in my beard is chicken wings. That's the only thing going in my beard.
I think he was told, hey, dude, turn in your man card or what. I forget what the conversation went like, but man.
I mean, to each their own, whatever. But I mean, I won't do it.
I don't know, man. If I had a beard, I'd be like, yeah, here, see this.
I know, if it was for charity, maybe I would do it. I'll say that.
Definitely, yeah.
I just do it for kicks. Like last year, I also do security for one of the local university basketball teams. And so last year at Christmas, before 2019, before the pandemic, around Christmas, I had gotten some of those Christmas bulbs and I put them in my beard, and I got so many compliments at the game from it. And then
it's fun.
I wore it to church one day and got even more compliments.
That's fun. That's fun. You know, as a guy that doesn't grow facial hair, I'd say that was fun, and I'd give you a pat on the back. Hell yeah. I can't see how you'd look down on that. I mean, you're having fun. This is what you're doing, so. Yeah. Do you have anything coming up in the near future?
I think the big thing is the Back the Brave car show. We got that coming up.
How many cars do you think are going to be there?
From what I hear, it's going to be pretty big. I guess there's another car show that goes on at the same time, but the head person that's putting on this car show said he's heard from numerous other people that they're going to attend this car show.
Oh, as a participant?
Well, just as, a spectator. And there's numerous car clubs, I think, are signing up. We got the Batmobile coming out. I think we're going to get the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
I saw a picture that had the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile that had ditched itself because of the ice on the road. I don't know how current that picture was, but I thought it was kind of funny. I hope it makes it.
I saw the same one.
You guys got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I think I don't even know. Can we talk about the shirt that you and Brandon have been working on?
No, if you want.
Do it, man. Tell us about it, Don.
Say whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Well, recently we found out that one of our brothers in Ohio has leukemia. So we're trying to work on something for him, Ohio-based, to raise money for him.
That's a tough diagnosis, man.
Yeah. We're just trying to see we got each other's back, so trying to give him support when we can.
Yeah, I think we found out because he messaged our president, Vinny, and said, hey, I'm going to have to leave the club. I have to shave my beard because I'm currently in treatment for leukemia. And we've got clauses in our bylaws that will keep you in the club, if it's for medical reasons that you have to shave. So, we just want to get around him and show him that we support him.
Yeah, man, don't ditch the guy. That sucks. Man, I got leukemia. I got to leave the group. No, you guys are brothers, man. You guys have bonded.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you don't have a lot of female members.
We actually have the female version of us is called the Rebellious Babes.
Oh, there you go. You can't. I mean, you can't neglect the women of the group. I mean, your supporters.
Yeah, and they're just like us. They're always looking for females to join them too.
That's great. When is the car show, and where is it at?
It's in early August 7th or the 9th, I believe.
That's so far out in the future, which is good. It's good in a way. It sucks because we have to wait, but it's good in a way because you can just push it and just prop it up and get more participants.
Yeah. From what talking to Carl through it all, it sounds like it's going to be the biggest one they've had, and it was the third one, and it just keeps growing. So it should be pretty awesome.
They were talking about Back to Heroes Rumble was talking about their first shows. It wasn't their first show. It was one of their other shows. I'm trying to think of. I'm going through documents trying to figure this, pulling facts out. Ryan Paul Wilson from Hanoi Lost Child Foundation, in cooperation with a couple of other charities, doing the car show, had a spouse of a fallen soldier out there, and that ended up just being. You always set that bar when you have, like, damn, that was a good, car show. Let's do it next year. And you do it the next year, and it's even bigger, and it becomes bigger, and there's more participants, more participation, more people coming through and, donating money or spending dollars on swag, whatever swag everyone probably has there. Do you guys have a expectation? I don't know.
I just want it to be big, do good, be able to give both nominees good amount.
And this is just it's an ongoing process. I mean, you guys are you're out there, asking for donations. Do you guys have a website that anybody can donate to?
We don't. I don't believe, but I know they do. The Back to Heroes Rumble, they do, but I don't believe we have one. Right.
You guys have it linked on your on your page for donations for the nominees?
No, that's under the Back to Heroes Rumble page. Mm-hmm. They do all the donations that way. So basically, it's easier then all the money goes directly to them. There's no like middleman or nothing like that.
You're coordinating
501c stuff and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, not only are me and Don, members of the Ohio and sit on the board of the Ohio chapter, but we are also on the committee for the Brave Rumble.
They're related. They're sub chapters of Back of the Heroes.
No. We're with the main one with the car show. We're on the committee for that.
Oh, I see.
Ah, there you go. No, that's cool. Yeah, I swear every show in the last couple of weeks has been about this Back to Brave. I'm gonna have to fly up to Ohio to see this thing.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have
Do
to
it.
I'm gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to do it. Hopefully this COVID thing calms down and I can fly out of here, and I might go up that way. Go inspect it.
I want to see Pooky on an airplane. Sir, you have to wear a mask. Really? Come on.
I have a mask.
That's right.
Hey, whatever works.
Well, guys,
as big as this car show that everyone keeps hyping up, I can't wait to see it. I mean, even if I don't get to make it up that way, I can't wait to see how big it is because y'all keep saying it's going to be massive, and I love car shows. That's one of the things. I grew up in the rural hills of Pennsylvania, and they'd have them little car shows where you see that random Model T just show up, and you're like, where did that thing come from? The most craziest things. I can't wait to see this thing hit.
Being a big city guy, I've always done the McCormick Place in Chicago car shows where it's just you walk into this big display area and there's these gorgeous cars just on display. This car show is something. Is it different than that? I mean, you guys, do they run the cars? Maybe there's a quarter-mile track or.
No, there's not going to be any running. We've got a area where we're going to park them. I think we're going back as far as 30s or 40 model cars.
Oh, 1930s Packard running around. Oh man, yeah. I love the old cars, man. I love it. It's just what.
I know it's labeled.
We got that all the way up to present. Then we got the law enforcement most wanted car. Not sure what the fire department one is. You remember, Don?
No. There's a lot of them on there. So
you got any room for bikes?
There is a category for motorcycles.
Yes. Okay, that's good.
Get down with that.
I think we need to get Cody to register his military style one that he has from the Kentucky chapter.
Has he got an old panhead or something like that?
He's got. I'm pretty sure it's a Harley, but he's
an old Harley from the 30s, the 40s, World War II ish.
Well, he's got it painted the OD green with the star in it, and it's a really nice bike. I think the saddlebags are made out of ammo cans.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
You guys ought to throw some pictures of these up on your Facebook, man. I think it's going to be a fun time. It's really going to be a fun time. You guys are going to be surrounded by people everyone's like-minded, and there's going to be a small percentage of people that are they're going to be there just because they dig car shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope you guys collect a lot of funds for your nominees, man.
Yeah, we do too.
All right, guys. I think we're going to part ways, man. You guys are doing some great stuff. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
You guys have any plugs? What's your Facebook?
Mine is Scott Fox.
For Bearded Rebellion, it's Bearded Rebellion. For you guys, it's BeardedRebellion.OhioChapter.
Dash.
Is it dash? Okay.
That'll find it that way, yeah.
Cool.
And then Instagram is BRBC_Ohio. So
I always lose it on Instagram. I always forget about Instagram. But yeah. The only reason I'm on Instagram is because my kids post there, so I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'll be a friend.
A couple of us are on TikTok too.
Oh my gosh, you got the TikTok videos going on?
Some of us more than others.
Okay, so what's your TikTok?
Mine is the Bearded Law.
Bearded Law, the Bearded Law.
Yeah.
I haven't downloaded TikTok, but I do pay attention to TikTok. So I'm going to check out some of the Bearded Law on TikTok.
I don't have too many videos, but some of our other guys do.
Well, good,
I think
man.
I might have like 1 or 2 videos that I've done.
Are they good?
I don't know.
Very humble gentleman here. All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. And if you guys want to check out the Bearded Rebellion, maybe request membership. Obviously, you have to have a beard. Do you have a minimum requirement for a beard?
Just ear to ear, and that's it.
What does that mean?
Yep.
That's it. Okay, I got you. No, it just has to be full. Well, not necessarily full, but I get what you're saying with it. Okay.
I mean, you might have a Bearded Rebellion supporter who's just he's a badass, but he can't grow facial hair. You know, he might grow facial hair like me, like a Mexican teenager or something, like kind of spotty here.
You can grow it out. Koz, you can grow it out.
But stop taking some vitamins in.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Eggs will help you.
Eggs and what?
Just eggs. Eggs will help you, man. If you can't grow a beard, I tell everyone, just eat a lot of eggs and you'll start growing a beard. Trust me.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. Facebook.com, Bearded Rebellion-OhioChapter for these particular folks, or you can just do BeardedRebellion.com for their main Facebook page. Guys, you've been great. And I guess I'm going to go into the housekeeping part of the show, and we're going to talk about our upcoming shows. Normally we don't have a show on Saturday, and tomorrow we don't have a show on Saturday, but Ice and Spanky are going to be a guest on Veteran Trash Talk. Veteran Trash Talk LLC is a group of smart and sophisticated veterans who will always pretend to know more than you. They are there to talk trash and support each other in a more proactive way than ever. So on the 26th, which is next week, Navy veteran Derek... I can't read my own writing. Derek Jones, he's got a new EP coming out called Last of a Dying Breed. It's country music. Everybody likes country music. He's toured with Billy Ray Cyrus, and he's opened for the likes of Charlie Daniels, Trace Adkins, and Dwight Yoakam. His earlier EP called Pray reached #1 on Amazon and #7 on iTunes, and he's going to be here to share his story with us next Friday for Friday Night Freedom. So everybody take a minute. Let's thank these fine gentlemen for being on the show. It has been my pleasure to talk with you. Much success in the future. And any parting words from anybody?
Nice having you.
All right, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all very much.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army.